Hey, what's up, universe? It is 11:11 on Sunday, June? I think it's 11th, right? Yes, the 11th, 2023. And I'm realizing that, and this is kind of how it is for me, it's Father's Day today, so happy Father's Day. And then obviously a belated Mother's Day, sorry. These kinds of things, if people didn't talk about them, I wouldn't know, right? So it was through Angela that I was even like, oh, it's Father's Day. It would happen. I mean, that would be the same with like literally everything. I don't pay attention to these kinds of things. So anyway, this is just a random update. So some things that are interesting to me, I received, a few bills over the last few days. And they're coming due at the end of the month, right? And then the biggest one was the one from the IRS, right? I had told you, I had mentioned in some video way long ago, back taxes. And so that arrived, and it's, it's a chunk of change. It's in the tens of thousands of dollars, obviously. I mean, because it's a 1099 contract, and I didn't know basically my whole year of taxes, and I didn't take anything out, so it would make sense. So it's a sizable chunk. And then let's see, the thing that I find curious about that is that none of that stuff, like, I don't feel any type of charge around that. You know what I mean? Like, there's all of these financial things. And so I only mention it just because it's occurring in my life, and I don't have any type of, it doesn't inspire any type of anxiety, oddly enough. And again, not entirely sure why, but I think it's important to be able to see me too. Like, I don't know. For some reason, it really just doesn't seem to charge me. What I bring that up to, not to just mention that, but what I find funny is that the things that do charge me. So the other day, my old landlord joined Telegram, and I mark my landlords, and have their name and then landlord in parentheses, so that way it's easy for me to know the relationship. So my mind just saw the word landlord and saw like something about in some messaging system, and I honestly thought it was going to be a text from Jason, and that inspired anxiety. Hearing from Jason from somebody that I owe much less money to inspires anxiety whereas other things I'm like, whatever. So that's what I found kind of funny. Some other things that are curious. Late on Friday, there was, through the connection that I have through being a Zendesk user group leader, one of the people, another leader, was like, hey, and a recruiter hit me up for an opportunity. I don't have the bandwidth to do this. Are you interested in taking a look? And I was like, yeah. So I contacted, they provided me the information, so I contacted the recruiter late Friday. So that's another thing that's happening. Some other clients being brought in at the place where I'm doing contract work, so that'll be good. I'm just going in a train of like, just train of thought, or just, stream of consciousness. So another thing is my mom is back home, as far as I'm aware. I believe my oldest sister brought her home yesterday, so that's good. I checked in with her, so everything's going better. I'm not entirely sure how well, but she's back home, so I'm grateful for that. Also, what happened on Friday, is that I received news from, and this is something that I'm actually really excited about. So I know I'm changing gears a lot. It's very, I received news from Zendesk regarding the community, the developer group, the group that I lead. There's been a question I've been asking for a long time, pretty much since the beginning, for about 6 months. I have basically received an answer, and I'm excited about where I'm able to go with this now, where we are able to go with this now. So I kind of teased the group a little bit, the other user group leaders, saying that I'll have 2 big announcements on, we record the meetings and then Zendesk posts it to their YouTube channel. So I'm just waiting to receive the link for the video, and then I send out the email. But when I send that out, I'll make these announcements, and it's really exciting for me and the community, this opportunity. And in a way, I don't want to speak to it yet because I haven't made the announcement. But I'm just really excited, so I'll save it. But it's a piece of news that, when I was thinking about it last night, is very much in the same kind of a vein as when Jason was like, if we can get you in, like if you just need to do this, like provide 2 months rent, the security deposit. So I was like, okay. So that happened. And so now that I've received this information from Zendesk, I'm kind of like, cool, because now like there's like these things can really happen. And it just really plays into, what's really interesting to me is it really plays into a lot of the stuff that I've been calling in for a while, and the way that it seems to line up with everything that I've been working on regarding myself over the last 6 months. Because the identity that I had prior to the beginning of the year, manifested and attracted and behaved and just had a certain way of being in life. And ever since the beginning of the year, when I shed that and started relating to myself in a fundamentally different way, I've been really excited about what that looks like. And it's coming together, you know what I mean? And it's only 6 months in, so I mean, it's only going to continue down that path. And I'm like starting to really kind of see some of these things come together. And I've thought about like these different opportunities, and like of employment, and defining like how do I relate to myself internally, and how will I navigate those relationships, and how do I see myself within them, is really different than my previous identity. And so I'm excited about just these changes. And another thing too that's interesting is, like, I don't share the angel numbers that I see, right? But I read these things like a lot. There's a website, I forget the woman's name. Basically, if you look up angel numbers, Australia, I think her name's Joanne, and it's on like blogspot.com. It's like a really long subdomain. Anyhow, that's the site that I use. And there's a lot of interesting things that have been coming up around, like over the months, around like the home. And it's not all the time that this stuff comes up, but like today, stuff around like the home and just relationships with the family and things like that. So there's been some really positive changes with like me and Milo, and then like that's been happening over the last few days. And then like with my mom and my sister and my cousin, being able to see them, and I haven't seen them in a long time, like in a while. So I'm just grateful for sure about these changes and these synchronicities, right? Like there's signs, there's a participation in my belief which leads me to another thing. This is why it's stream of consciousness. Another inspiration for this video is that yesterday, there was this post on LinkedIn, and I found myself getting off balance with it, honestly. I've been allowing myself to engage more in comments. Like, normally I don't do this, or at least previously, I should say, I didn't really engage. And so this particular post was around AI, and there was a quote in the post from like a video, and I was like, there's one word in this quote, and I'm like, this is what's inspiring me to respond. And I can't even remember the entire quote, but the gist of it was basically like, that AI is supposed to be better than us. And I was like, better? I was like, this brings something up for me, like, you know what I mean? And it's simply because of how I feel about words, and like how important they are, how powerful they are. And so it just inspired this dialogue. There was probably about 6 messages in total. And I mean, it was a conversation, but I could feel myself getting like really charged, honestly, like in a way that I hadn't felt since like 2008, 2009, when I was freaking out about the world, and I was feeling like a crusade kind of a energy, where like it was very almost ego-based, and I don't know, there was a certain energy about it, about like I didn't feel like I needed to be right, but I felt like I obviously felt like I needed to kind of defend in a crusade a little bit. It was an energy where I was like, I didn't come across quite, I mean, I didn't come across like I used to, that's for sure, but the energy was starting, I could feel it in my body most profoundly, but it was coming out in my words a little bit, I'm quite sure. Just not to the point like it used to be. But I was like, whoa, what's that about? You know? And I still don't know, but that's an energy I'm not going to entertain. So that was an interesting experience. And I just thought about how I was off my center and everything, and so I just allowed myself to, I concluded, like I could feel it in my body. So the last message I wrote was like, hey, like I'm going to admit that I feel really strongly about this, because I believe in the power of like our words. And I thanked the person for entertaining our discussion. I was like, thank you for entertaining our discussion. And that's how I concluded it, more or less. I maybe said one or two, like finessed it just a little different, but, and then I was just like, okay, no more of that. Like, I don't know what that's about. And I still don't. I just recognize that it came up. So I know that I've been talking for a while. I'm going to wrap this up. Thanks for being with me. Stream of consciousness. I hadn't put anything out there for a little bit. For like a day. Speaking to that, I'm probably going to go ahead and actually start to not post as much, and then as things manifest, because I feel like I haven't reached the base camp yet, but I've made it pretty far down on the other side of Everest. The biggest questions are probably around the finances, because right now I have like negative $16 in my account. I owe the IRS like tens of thousands of dollars. I owe other people like thousands and thousands of dollars. And so June is kind of like this big, hey, like, are you going to be able to conjure up, like, I don't know, like 70 grand? So, anyway, we'll see what happens, you know? And that's kind of the thing. It's like, I feel really good about being so grounded around it, because I feel like that opens me up. And I was thinking about this last night too. There's a huge difference in how I relate to myself and the way that I feel open around some things. And it's through the stretching, it's through these circumstances and things that I've been experiencing that I feel really stretched and open to receive a lot of different things that I wasn't available for previously. Just because I didn't have the capacity. I didn't have the ability. I wasn't prepared. Which are things that I've been absolutely asking for. So I'm very, very grateful. So we shall see how this unfolds. All right, thank you again for being with me. Thanks for journeying with me. Thanks for listening and giving me the space and the time. All right, I love you guys. I'll talk to you later.